Hello everyone, welcome back to SudoTech. In this video, we are going to continue installing the basic system software. In the last video, we finished up with glibc and adjusting the toolchain, and in this video, we're going to go through 15 more packages to get through Chapter 6 and hopefully the next 4 videos. I'll be posting those over the course of the next few weeks, so make sure you're subscribed and hit the little bell so that you can get notified when they come out. Most of the packages in this video are fairly small at 0.1 or even less than 0.1 SBUs, but we are compiling GCC, which is a massive and super important package, so just make sure you've got some time on your hands before you decide to go through the rest of this video. Use tar to unpack Zlib, which contains compression and recompression tools, then go ahead and change the directory and configure it. We're going to run make, then make check, and finally make install to set it all up. There are some libraries that need to be moved around, so go ahead and follow the commands in the Linux from Scratch book to take care of that. Go ahead and delete the created directory for Zlib, and then we can move on to file by unpacking it and changing to the directory. Prepare for compilation, then run make check, and finally make install. It's generally not a good thing to get any make check errors, but if you do, check with the book because some of them should be expected seeing as we're working on a rudimentary system. Once you've deleted the file directory, go ahead and unpack Binutils and change to that directory. We're going to run expect-c and then in quotes spawn ls, and you should output spawn ls. This is to verify that the PTYs are working properly in the true environment. If instead you get the system has no more PTYs followed by ask your system administrator to create more, then you've got an issue, so you should backtrack a little bit and see if you can solve that problem. Create a new build directory and change to it to properly build Binutils, and then prepare it for compilation. We're going to use make and setting tooldir to /user to create it properly. Finally, use make-k check to check the results, and make tooldir again set to user install to install it. Go ahead and unpack GMP, then change to the directory and prepare for compilation. We're going to run 2 make commands of make and make.html to compile the different parts of the library. Go ahead and test the results, and then run the command in the book to check what the output was. Sometimes GMP will misidentify what system you're running on, and it'll output some errors with illegal instruction in them. If that happens, you're going to want to rebuild it with --build equals x86_64-unknown-linux-gnu just to make it kind of a generic type. If everything passed, you can go ahead with make install and make install-html. Finally, go ahead and delete the GMP folder. MPFR is another package that handles some math, so go ahead and unpack it, change the directory, prepare for compilation, then use make and again make HTML to compile it. Use make check to make sure that everything passed, and then finally make install and make install-html. Our last math package, MPC, is basically the same process as MPFR. Go ahead and unpack it, change to the directory, prepare for compilation, then run make HTML, make check, and make install-html. And that brings us to GCC, our biggest package of the day, and our biggest package of the entire Linux from Scratch installation process. Go ahead and unpack it, change to the directory, then we're going to immediately create a new build directory with make-dir-vbuild and cd-build. Prepare GCC for compilation and then run make. This is going to take a while, but don't worry, it's not the entire 79 SBUs that it shows on the page. That includes tests, and actually make check takes up most of that. When that's done, we're going to run a ulimit command that's going to patch an error that occurs in make check. Finally, run make-k check, and be warned, this is going to take a long time. For me, it took about 2 to 3 hours to finish the make check process, but obviously your mileage may vary. When it's all finished, you can receive a summary of all the tests that you just ran with /contrib/test_summary. If you have a few errors here, it's probably going to be just fine. You can compare it to the results of the same book version if you go to the book, and they've got a link to a build log of GCC. I had 2 errors on libstdc++, which is noted in the book as being fairly common, so I'm just going to keep on going from there. You can use make install to install the package, and then you can find the code in the book to set up a few symbolic links. Once you've configured it properly, we're going to run a few tests just to make sure that it is in fact operating properly. Similar to what we did before when we compiled GCC for the first time, we're going to run a sanity check that should output requesting program interpreter /lib/ld-linux.so.2. Of course, if you're on a 64-bit system, this might be slightly different. We're going to verify that we are using the correct start files, and you should get 3 outputs that all show as succeeded. Run the code in the book to verify that it's searching for the correct header files, and it should show search starts here and then a couple of paths. You can compare it to what they show in the book just to make sure everything's alright with your system. We're going to run another grep command to verify that the new linker is being used correctly, and you'll get a similar output to what we got when we were adjusting the toolchain. It should show search_dir and then some paths that'll change slightly based on your architecture. The output of the next 2 commands should be attempt to open and then a path succeeded, and finally found ld-linux.so.2 at /lib/ld.linux.so.2. When everything is working correctly, you can delete the test files and move a misplaced file that GCC created. Make sure that you delete the created GCC folder because that can take up quite a bit of disk space. Go ahead and unpack bzip next and change to that directory. We're going to apply a patch that we downloaded earlier, and then run a command that makes sure that all the symbolic links are still relative. Make sure that the man pages are installed correctly, and then finally prepare for compilation. We're going to use make and then install the program with make install with prefix set to /user. There's a few symbolic links that we have to set up and a few files to copy around. Just follow the code in the Linux from Scratch book. Pkg-config is another one of those super easy tools to set up, so go ahead and unpack it, change the directory, prepare it for compilation, then just run make check, and make install. Go ahead and unpack and change to the Ncurses folder, then run a command that'll ensure that you don't install static libraries that aren't handled by configure. Prepare it for compilation, then run make and make install. You want to move some shared libraries over, and then recreate the symbolic links so that it points to an accurate file. There's some additional commands that we have to run to ensure compatibility with all programs. And then finally, if you want to, you can install the Ncurses documentation. When you're done with Ncurses, go ahead and delete the Ncurses folder, unpack attr, and change to the directory. We're going to make the documentation directory a version directory, and then prevent the installation of manual pages that were already installed. Prepare for compilation, go ahead and run make, and then test the results. Keep in mind that you will need to be on a file system that supports extended attributes, so if you're on ext2, 3, or 4, you should be fine along with a couple other file systems. If you went through the default installer on most Linux operating systems, you'll be on ext3 or ext4. Finally, we're going to install the package and move some libraries. ACL has a similar installation method, so go ahead and unpack it, change the directory, and then make sure that the documentation directory is also a version directory. Then we're going to fix some broken tests, fix a bug, and then finally prepare for compilation. We're going to run make, then make install, finally changing the libacl.so file to a 755 permission scheme. We're going to move another library and then finally recreate the link so that it works properly. Go ahead and unpack libcap, change the directory, and then prevent a static library from being installed. Compile the package with make, and it doesn't come with the test suite, so you shouldn't have to worry about that right now. Finally, install the package, and then you're going to want to move another library file, again recreating the link so that it works properly. Go ahead and unpack sed, change the directory, and prepare for compilation. Use make and make HTML like we did earlier to compile it. Use make check to check the results. Then finally make install and make-c doc install-html to install both components. Our final package of this video is Shadow, which handles passwords. Go ahead and unpack it and change to the directory. There's a couple things that we have to run to configure the system, but it's not that hard, so just go ahead and copy and paste the commands in the book. When you're done with the configuration, prepare for compilation, and then use make and make install. We're going to move a misplaced program to its proper location with a move command, and then finally we're going to configure the actual passwords. To enable the shadowed passwords, run pwconv and grpconv to enable group passwords. Finally, run passwd root to set the password of root and set it to whatever you want. Just make sure you can remember it because this is going to be the password for your operating system. Because you may be installing this on multiple systems, it would make sense to do something kind of generic. This is similar to how on Ubuntu installations, the default password and username is Ubuntu and Ubuntu. I'm going to be releasing the next few videos on the next few packages within the next few weeks, so make sure to stay tuned for that. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I will catch you in the next one.